Hello and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge. This is the United Stand, your channel, and we're here to talk about Manchester United as per usual. A little bit late because I was, what was I doing? You probably can see it in the top right hand corner, the eye. A big poll, the poll that's causing a lot of dilemma. We've got to put it out. It's a democracy. Should Mark sing on the transfer show in the morning? I've been banned. People have said they'll unsubscribe if I do. Well, one person did. So I thought I'll listen to that, and then loads of people are now saying I should sing. So make sure you clash your vote onto that at some point, but obviously we're here to talk about Manchester United. And I think the midfield dilemma, disaster, something else beginning with D, is something that needs to be addressed. And I would progress and say that this is a bit of a disaster in relation to Manchester United in the midfield. Who are we getting? When are we getting them? And the when are we getting them is the most important thing here. Lukaku's fantastic. We needed a number 9. But the centre defensive midfielder is arguably the most important position we need to resolve this summer. And with every passing day, and in 2 days' time, as much as I can't wait to see us play against LA Galaxy and get this pre-season up and running, where is that centre defensive midfielder? They should be there, they should be part of this team, and they should be embedding themselves in not only in games but in training. And it's very, what's the word? It's a failure. It's a failure on Woodward's part and whoever else is involved in the buying of the players, because we know Jose Mourinho said in May, I gave him the list in April. So where is it? Where is this centre defensive midfielder? Who is it meant to be? Can we not get any of this? I mean, because we know Mourinho won't have given one name. Why can't we get them? Are we genuinely waiting for Nemanja Matic? Are we really in for Fabinho? Is there a chance we could get Nainggolan? Why is it taking so long? Why can't we just get the deal done? And people can say, oh, you know, it'll get done, it'll get done. Mourinho wants it done now. He wants them on the tour. So what's going wrong? Why is it going wrong? What's going wrong? It feels like we don't have a plan at the moment, and I know for a fact that we do. But if you're asking me to hedge my bets on this, and I put it out on a Twitter tweet tonight, I think it's Matic. I think it's Matic. I think that's who we're going for. I think Chelsea have purposely not sold him to us because they want to make sure they get Bakayoko. I think the minute Bakayoko signs for Chelsea, we will sign Matic. I'm dead against it. I think I don't really care about Matic and what his attributes are. I think the big problem with Manchester United is they need a centre defensive midfielder who can actually run and is quite quick. We're slow enough in some areas of our team. And we saw how slow midfielders can be a real problem with Fellaini last year. But I think it's Matic. I really do. I hope it's Fabinho. It'd be a dream if it was Nainggolan. But I have a total and honest feeling that it will be Matic who signs for Manchester United. Other news. Is there any other news? Well, interesting little stat for you. Lukaku did at 24 has scored more goals than Thierry Henry, Ronaldo, Suarez, than any of those three did at 24. If that's anything that interests you, I thought it was quite interesting. And Perisic as well. Inter don't really want to sell him, but there was a picture of Inter Milan together today on their pre-season training. And if you ever remember that Ashley Cole one at Roma where he's on the edge, well, Perisic is not as big a loner as Ashley Cole was at Roma, but he's certainly on the edge. If rumours are true, Perisic really does want to come to United. It's not about the money. He wants to come and play for United. And I still feel that deal could happen, but I think there's probably a bit of an embarrassment on Manchester United's part that they don't want to pay £48 million for a player who's not really worth £38 million. So I can see where Manchester United are coming from that. And I just want to bring... It is Skype Goldbridge tonight, by the way. I'm going to give it a go. We're going to give it a go, folks. We're going to give it a go. But I wanted to just answer this question as well, because I think this might interest you. It's something I've sort of thought about before, but I was actually sent this on an email today, and it was like, I'd be really interested to get your opinion on what you think where Manchester United would be if Sir Alex Ferguson hadn't retired early because his wife's sister had died, so she needed company and that's from Sir Alex Ferguson's mouth. I don't think he intended on going that summer, but he put his wife first, which was fantastic, and he retired. What would have happened to Manchester United and where would we be now? Very, very quickly, we definitely would have, in the last if he was still here now, he might not be here now, but certainly when you look at the Moyes year, the 2 under Van Gaal, I think we definitely would have won the title the year after. Van Persie would have been a better player because he would have stayed under Sir Alex Ferguson. I think Janusaj would have been a better player at Manchester United as well. Sir Alex Ferguson definitely wanted to give him games, and I think he would have sorted his head out and made him into the player that he could have been and we thought he would be. You know, sorted the attitude out and made him work harder. I think Rooney definitely would have gone that summer. I mean, that's no lie. That he definitely would have gone that summer that Sir Alex Ferguson retired, if Sir Alex Ferguson hadn't retired. Ronaldo was highly tipped to come back to Manchester United that summer. And if we'd got him, I think we would have won the title every year since then. So, in summary, I think 4 years down the line, if Sir Alex Ferguson had stayed, I don't know whether he'd still be here 4 years down the line, but certainly I think he would have stayed for a couple more. I think we would have won the title both years. I look at who's won the title in the last 4 years, and I don't see anybody, Leicester, City, Chelsea, good enough to beat what Sir Alex Ferguson could do at United. Champions League would be very hard to predict, but let's not forget the year Sir Alex Ferguson retired, we got knocked out by a dodgy referee sending Nani off against Real Madrid, and we were all over them, and I think we would have won that tie. So, you know, it's hard to remember. You know, there's this myth about Sir Alex Ferguson that he left a difficult job for Moyes, an ageing squad, but I don't think Ferguson would have changed that much about that squad, to be honest, and it still would have won the title. And who knows, we might have had another Champions League. But I certainly think, in summary, we would have won 2 titles at least in the last 4 years under Sir Alex Ferguson, and maybe a Champions League. But very, very good question, and I was glad to answer that. Pogba wouldn't have come, says Blink Graphics. Very, very true. Belotti to AC Milan, says Sunil Power. Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to sign Belotti. Right, I want to start taking some calls, get people's opinions, see what they've got to say. I've just clicked somebody there and they haven't answered. It's Skype Goldbridge, all one word. See if we can get somebody on. Sam, can you hear me?
You're right.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
What do you want to talk about, Sam?
I wanted to talk about a possible Bayern Munich signing that we could make.
Okay. Yeah, go on then.
Because obviously, James Rodriguez has gone to Bayern Munich. I don't think they'll be wanting to. Well, there will be, but what do you think?
Oh, I've lost him. What do I think about what? You still there, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it you're saying? What do I think about who? Hello? Still there? Oh. It had me right on the edge there in relation to who we thought it might be. Let's try another. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi Mark, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks for having me on.
No worries. What was it what you wanted to talk about?
Well, what was the topic tonight?
Anything you want, really. I was just talking about the midfielder, and I think it might be Matic that comes to United, but obviously we've still got a number of positions outstanding. Talking a little bit about United's squad next season as well, and where I think we need to improve. So, yeah, whatever you want to
Okay,
talk about.
well, I guess I'll just talk about what's foremost in my mind right now as a United fan. It's been an emotional week for us. We had that nice reprieve to our pressure when we made the signing of Lukaku. It certainly lifted our spirits a little bit. But then we also had to deal with Rooney moving on, which of course divided opinion, but it's happened now for better or worse. But I've just seen he's scored an absolute screamer for Everton on his debut. So however you feel about Rooney, I know it's a polarising issue. Congratulations, Wayne. Good luck. And hopefully he can make something of himself with his boyhood club.
I did see that goal, by the way, and it was a good goal, but what I would say is that you don't get that space in the Premier League, and I don't know who that farmer was in goal, but he should have saved it. But I wish Rooney well at Everton. I hope he does do well, and I will never be one of those fans, even if he scores 30 goals, that thinks he should have stayed at United. I've seen enough over the last 3 years that I think even if he rekindles his form, that change is probably the reason he's done it. I could never see him getting back to what he was at United. I think it was the best for both worlds.
Yeah, you've been consistent about that, Mark, and you can go back and find my comments from 2 seasons ago where I was saying the same thing. And I think it was very much back in the December of despair under Louis van Gaal in his second season. Rooney had a chance to really step up and show he was still the man then. And it didn't quite happen. But moving on to the situation now, I think really the most exciting question to be asked of the new look United is what is going to happen in central midfield. Is Pereira going to be the man to stake his claim on that position? Is someone going to come in and push him to being the backup man? Is Pereira going to get a look in that Carrick role? I know Jose favours him there as opposed to in attack. Did he do enough when he was away from home to really make himself a mainstay in this team? I personally would like to see Pereira at least on the first team bench for most of the season, and if possible, get 15 or more appearances here and there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, there was just somebody was just talking there. I want to bring it quickly in because they started and then they got cut off. They were saying that in relation to transfers, with Rodriguez going to Bayern Munich, what about Thomas Muller? Is that a player that you would see coming to United or welcome at Manchester United?
Well, I think it's safe to say that the bridge is not only burned with Real Madrid; it's been carpet bombed from space. It's been blown up forever. So it is time to start looking at what other big clubs are willing to move on players. Muller is one of these strikers who was really a Premier striker, but has now become second fiddle, even third fiddle. So he's probably looking for a opportunity to rejuvenate his career. United, would we give him that? Let's be honest. Would he be getting ahead of Lukaku in the pecking order? Well, however his current form may be, he's certainly a striker of higher pedigree. So I think it's unlikely that United would sign a player who, whether or not he's on the wane, is a player of a higher profile than Lukaku. Lukaku might even feel threatened by a heavyweight such as Muller coming in. So I think if we are going to go with another striker, which I believe we should be going for someone like a re-signing of Hernandez or someone who's perhaps a little longer in the tooth but willing to play second fiddle.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, Muller is a player that I think was always Van Gaal signing. I don't really remember Mourinho being interested in him and where he would fit into the team. Again, he's not a particularly fast player, which I think is what we're looking for. I think we're looking for a winger who can play, both wings. I don't think we're definitely looking for a number 10. But as Abdi Ali says, he can play as a number 10. Of course, yeah, he can. There might be some business to do with Bayern Munich. Personally, I'd take Renato Sanchez. I feel that we need two midfielders. I don't know. I've been saying that for weeks now. I don't know. Do you think we'll be all right if we just get one? It looks like we're only going to get one.
It looks that way, but honestly, no. I think your assessment is right on the money. We need a midfield warrior. There's still probably a few seasons before Fosu Mensah can step into that role. So we need like a Nainggolan or one of these combative. I mean, I know we had two of them, Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin, but let's move on from that. We need a combative midfielder, and we also need another. I think the Perisic style wide man is something we're severely lacking. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to have, Ashley Young is not going to suddenly be reborn as this amazing winger. He's a squad player at best, so we really need a clever forward who can give us width.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Really, really good call. Thanks for calling in, and please do call in again.
All the best, Mark. Thanks for all your hard work as usual, and thanks to everyone else on the United stand.
No worries, pal. Thank you very much.
Cheers, bye.
Drop him a like, everyone. Remember, it's Skype Goldbridge tonight, so drop in those likes on the video for those people who call in, and that was a really good call. I'm going to take Mark. Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, thanks. Yeah, very good.
Good. What was it you wanted to talk about?
2 or 3 things tonight I've sort of jotted down. Hearing rumours of Mbappe going to Man City, not liking this at all.
Right. Well, that's a rumour. I'd not heard that at all myself. So, yeah, no. Okay.
Well, I was watching a bit of Sky Sports earlier on, so you can think of that as you like, whether they want to get on their Sky bets or whatever. But yeah, Mbappe to Man City, and they've purchased Mendy from Monaco as well, right, in a £50 million bid, and Spurs another £50 million. God, I can't think of his name now. On the right hand side. Yeah, Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I'd heard about that one, but I hadn't heard about the other two.
So that's 2 they've got, and apparently they're really going in for Mbappe heavy. Apparently, I'm not liking that at all.
Yeah,
But,
well, just to come back at you there, I don't know what everyone else at home thinks. I mean, I think this was always the problem. Everyone goes, well, you know, we've got to trust Jose if he feels that, you know, players that aren't big, massive players like Perisic and Matic and Lukaku and Lindelof, and that's his business done. I think, you know, that's all fine and well if he thinks it'll improve us, and I think those positions, they will improve us. But it doesn't matter about improving positions if Manchester City go and sign Silva, Mbappe, Mendy, Kyle Walker, and God knows who else. They're signing top class players, and I do wonder why we haven't bothered going for those sort of players this summer so far. We did hear at the start of the week that there might be a couple of marquee signings to come to United, but I've got no idea who they would be, where they would play, and if that's going to happen.
I think when I phoned in the other day, my thought on another centre defensive midfielder has got to be Nainggolan. If he's available, even if it's for a 2-year bridge gap to fill in until Fossey Mensah gets the play that he could possibly get. I'd Nainggolan. I think he's if he would, he appears to have been more of a CAM or a cam this season. So if he could drop back into a CDM, that would be absolutely brilliant, because like you say, I think he's the most sort of rough sort of player to Roy Keane that I could probably think of about the good last 4 or 5 years. Andreas Pereira, I've been watching him for the last couple of seasons. Kind of going to what your caller was on the last time, I think I see Pereira as more of an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder rather than a CDM. I watched quite a bit of him last season in Spain, and I think he's. I keep on sort of tweeting out there when you guys are putting some tweets. I keep on saying he's very much aspires to be like a Ronaldo type player. When you watch him, his dribbling, his vision on the ball, his pass ability, he's fantastic. I just hope and pray that we absolutely keep on to him.
I agree.
Don't let him go. And I really hope that Jose actually gives him a chance this season. I really do think he could be top 10 player in the world within a couple of years. I really, really do. I think he's fantastic.
I agree. I think, I've been saying it for a long time about Pereira, but I think he's on that tour. And what I'm encouraged by is that United, whether it's their Twitter or Instagram, they're getting quotes from Pereira, and it's like they are starting to build him up. The reality is, if he is this player that you believe and I believe, and he's on that tour at the moment and he's training, he will be standing out to Mourinho, and Mourinho won't be viewing him as a kid and thinking, I don't know about him. He's got to view him as a player who's been to La Liga, been one of the best players in La Liga. He's effectively like a brand new signing, and I'm like you, I really do hope that he gets his chance on the tour and he becomes part of the team next year. Rupin's just said about Mbappe, it's come from Graham Hunter, who's a journalist in Spain, saying that Mbappe to City, and they're talking to his agent. Well, Graham Hunter's the one who told us we were signing Ramos, so I don't necessarily agree with what he comes out with. And you said there was something else you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I was just thinking, with Andreas Pereira, if he's actually given a chance in the squad, I'm actually wondering if that is the point that Mourinho is not actually signing another central midfielder. I'm wondering if, like you, whether he's thinking that Pereira could be this new signing, and so we don't have to actually go and sign a new central midfielder. I do think we do need to sign a CDM. Fabinho or Nainggolan, for me, would be the one to go for. I just think he's trying to hold out on Pereira. I'm wondering whether he's going to see what he's capable of on this tour, and then he might make another decision from there. That's another possibility in mind. And my last question to you was, with these players that we could possibly be getting, what formation do you think we might play this season? Do you think we might play like a 3-5-2, or do you think we might play like a 4-3-3? What are you thinking? What's your thoughts on it?
I'd like to see us try a 3-5-2, but I think that I was only ever thinking that when we were interested in signing 2 strikers, which I think was Belotti and Morata about a month ago. I think we'll stay the same as we are, one up front, which suits Lukaku. I think he'll just continue with what he's done for the last year, really, which is basically a 4-3-3. I don't see anything different from that, unless we make a big sort of marquee signing that we're just not expecting, and then you have to redress it. We've got a lot of centre-backs, so we could play 3 at the back. But no, I think it'll be 4-3-3.
You think 4-3-3?
Yeah.
And what do you think if we got sort of Sanchez from Arsenal? Do you think we'd change it then?
I don't think we would, because I think you just play him slightly to the left and or slightly to the right. I don't know. We'll learn a lot on the tour and see what he's doing, because if he's going to change the formation, that's the sort of time he's going to start messing around with it, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Thanks for calling again, and please do call in again.
That's all right. No problems, Mark. Thanks for the time.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks you.
A lot. Cheers. Thank you.
Ta-da.
Cheers. Bye.
There was a comment in the live comments. I hope it's still there. Yes, it is. Aftar Sidhu says, to be honest, Walker is better than Valencia. To be honest, I disagree. He's not. Valencia is better than Kyle Walker because he can actually defend. Kyle Walker's not better than Valencia. Kyle Walker's a good right back, but he can't defend for toffee. And right, let's talk about Zlatan. A few people on about Zlatan. Zlatan apparently going to come. I've seen a bit of this today, but I wouldn't even call it breaking news. The reality is that Zlatan has left Manchester United. We all know about that. We know why, because he's got the knee injury and it cost Manchester United 350 grand a week to keep him. And the rumour is that when he gets himself back fit, which might be around November, October, January, depends what you think, he'll come back to United for the last few months of the season, which doesn't actually make any sense to me, because I think he'll end up going to the MLS. And the MLS starts in, I think it's March, so he wouldn't be able to see the end of the season for United. So he'd miss the start of the season till around Christmas. Then he'll come and play for United till March. Then he'll miss the end of the season. So I don't really see it. I would welcome him to United as a backup to Lukaku, because I think Zlatan has still got a lot to offer, and as a backup striker, would be very, very good for United. But I don't really see it as any massive breaking news in that sense. I think it's always a possibility. He was a United player when he got injured. He's done well at United. Obviously really likes the club. But I think if Zlatan gets himself fit, he'll probably go where the best challenge for the right money. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him there, but that's certainly what I think will happen. I'm going to try and get Sam on again. I don't know whether it'll work this time. Sam, can you hear me? Hello? Well, we're having problems with Sam tonight. Wanted to give him an opportunity again because he broke up the first time, but we'll move on. We'll get somebody else on. No problem. Let's try... Who have we got here? Ashwin, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, you're live on the United Stand. Ashwin, what do you want to say?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
So I'm basically going to discuss about various transfers that we are linked to, Perisic being one. I think people have been overcritical of Perisic. My point in that is, I don't understand why people are critical about Perisic. Like, Mourinho, if I'm not wrong, has been linked to Perisic since March. And yes, he may not be the Galactico signing, and maybe 45 million is too much. But if Mourinho gets his player, like he got in Chelsea, in Inter Milan, even in Real Madrid, I think we are in a good shape then, rather than just going on player like how Van Gaal or Moyes bought just for the sake of it and then just not playing him. I think Mourinho knows who to buy. I think that's why I think Perisic would be a good buy. What do you think about that?
I do like Perisic. I like the fact that he's two-footed. I like the fact that he's hard-working. I like the fact that he's tall. I like the fact that he's very quick and skillful. I think he would be a good player for Manchester United. But I think the problem with signing Perisic is it's not what United fans want right now. I think if he'd come in June with Lindelof, we'd be like, yeah, he's going to bring a lot to the team. Who's the big signing? Who's the one who's going to get us excited? Perisic isn't going to get us excited, and we're going to pay a lot of money for him. So I do understand why United fans are a bit against it. I personally wouldn't mind him signing for United. I think my argument is if we don't sign Perisic, we need a player for that position. Who do we sign with the attributes that he's got? Do you think we're going to sign anybody else, though? Do you think we're going to get like a big signing that makes us all sit up and think yes? Or do you think it will just be Perisic and a midfielder and that's it?
I think our big signing was Griezmann. I seriously feel that really messed up our transfer. I think the whole plan changed as soon as Griezmann said no. And I still believe Griezmann will be the player next year maybe. But I think for this summer, I can't see Mourinho signing for the sake of signing, even though I have heard rumors that we may be in for a marquee player. I just think maybe the random names like Bale, Neymar. I don't want to go in that route again, because it's good to have those players, but we have seen it doesn't work always. Like last year, I don't think many people expected Bay to do well, and Mkhitaryan was a hit and miss, but they all did well. And same with, I think apart from Ibrahimovic and Pogba, I think other two were a bit of a less of a Galactico signing. I think it's better to mix it up. I think Lukaku is one of so-called marquee signing, which I'm happy again. I don't know, like looking at a lot of names that come up, Neymar, Bale, I'm not too sure if that would be the way Mourinho would want to go. But again, it could be.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in, Ashwin. Really good call. And please do call in again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. I was just reading on Twitter there that Zlatan has said very big announcement soon, and it will be huge. Zlatan on his future. I don't think it's huge news that he's going to come back to Manchester United, is it? I don't think it is. I think people might be getting their knickers in the twist, to be honest. So Zlatan has promised to clarify his future soon after meeting his agent in Manchester, and he said there will be a very big announcement soon, and it will be huge. He's been linked with AC Milan and LA Galaxy, and talks continue with LA Galaxy. He could return to full fitness before Christmas, and he's currently a free agent, and he's not with the United squad. You know what? If he comes back to United, very, very happy. Very, very happy to welcome him to Manchester United again. But I've got to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think that announcement from Zlatan would make me think he's coming back to United, because I don't think coming back to United is huge news, is it? Not at all. Have you seen Bars? He's soon playing for our under-18 squad, and he's a prospect of... Yeah, we mentioned him before. And... Pogba is a star player and my hero, says Roy Martin. Huge if he's back in September, says Bjorn. Well, to be fair, that would be true. It's not all about exciting signings, it's about effective signings, says Wayne Brilliant. And do you think we will buy some players within the next week, says Oysten Fox. You know what? I've got to be honest with you, mate. I ain't got a clue. I've got no idea what we are going to do in the transfer window, because I think it feels this week, it doesn't even feel like last week. It doesn't, obviously, because it's a different week, but it doesn't feel like this. You know, every day at the moment, I'm sort of like not looking at Twitter for a couple of hours instead of a couple of minutes. I'm like not expecting there to be a signing. I don't know how anybody else thinks, but Ross, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark. Yeah.
How you doing? And what did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, you've already touched on a couple of bits I wanted to talk about. You were saying about what United would have done if Fergie was still in charge, and one of the previous callers was mentioned about City going in for all these key players. And I personally think we need to get out there and get that big wow signing, because United have always been about the fear factor, and teams used to fear United, and we just haven't been that for the past 3 or 4 years.
And who would you consider as a realistic wow signing for Manchester United?
I think it'd have to be Alexis Sanchez. I'd love to see him come in to United. I think he would be that player to make the rest of the Premier League sit up and think, hang on, boys, United mean business this year.
Yeah, I don't think Alexis Sanchez will happen. I've been quite consistent about that. But it's one of those ones where if it does happen, I'll be, very, very, very happy. I mean, away from that, I've always said Mbappe, although apparently a City are in for him. We're not going to do any business with Real Madrid. I think that's abundantly clear. So you can forget obviously Ronaldo, you can forget him anyway. Gareth Bale, forget him. Yeah. James Rodriguez is gone. And then the only other one that really strikes me is Ousmane Dembele at Dortmund, who I think is probably a bit too young for Mourinho anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just going back to what people were saying there, do you feel that we're going to make any signings in the next few days? Because I'm not sure, but if the tour's going to be on for 3 weeks, so are we waiting until August now? I just feel this just compounds the fact that Woodward and his team have not got the deals done that Mourinho would have expected.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Is that I don't know what's happening. None of us do at the moment. It's all just up in the air. It's all just hearsay.
And do you obviously I've put my flag to the mast in relation to I think United will win the league next year. I've been saying it for a long time. I must admit I've got to stand by it because Mourinho always wins the title in the first 2 years. But I look at the squad at the moment and it is lacking. And whenever we bring those players in, it's got to be sooner rather than later because centre defensive midfielder is very important. They should be in place now.
Yeah, they should be. This is my concern. You know, as you're saying, Mourinho wins or tends to win the title in the second year. But with the squad we've got, I just can't see it happening. It's not United of old where, you know, teams put 1 or 2 past us. That's okay. We'll go up to the other end and put 3 or 4 past you. We just haven't that power anymore. Now it's, oh, come on, lads, we string some passes together. United are going to sit back and we put 1 past them. That could be enough to get us a point.
I hope we're wrong, and I hope that we're going to see loads of goals next season. But thanks for calling, Ross. Really good call, and please do call again.
I will do. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to take another call, although it's gone a little bit quiet there, so let's go back to the live comments. Whoa. Didn't realise this. We are only 20 subscribers of 112,000. That's come round again quickly. So if you are new to the United Stand, make sure you click that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. And obviously this morning the Transfer Daily wasn't in the studio. I was actually on my way to work, and it was a live stream off my phone. So you need to click to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications when we go live. And please do drop a like on the video. Remember, it's Skype Goldbridge tonight, so it's people phoning in who, you know, fans of the show, fans of Manchester United. So support them. I know the community is a really good community, and I'm sure that you will do. Please do. Mark, can you hear me? Got a few Marks on tonight.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
Not too bad, and yourself?
Not too bad. What was it you wanted to talk about?
So, just touching on Martial and Mkhitaryan, actually, in relation to Perisic. For a start, I don't know if we need Perisic. I would like to see Martial get more game time. In addition, obviously, Mkhitaryan playing on the right, Martial on the left. If you include Rashford in on this, then you have Lukaku up front. For me, I think it's almost going to be a struggle to kind of fit all these players in. And then if you kind of include Perisic in this, I think it's going to be tricky. I don't think he's needed. So I'd like to hear your opinion actually as well.
So you don't feel that we need to sign Perisic?
No, not particularly Perisic, no. I'd like to see Martial get a good go on that left-hand side. And then you have Rashford as well. You know, you could be to and fro in between those two. Plus you have Rashford up front with Lukaku. I don't think Perisic is needed, but obviously it divides opinion between people who follow United Stand. And in addition, I think he's quite expensive too. But I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think?
I'll disagree, and I'll explain why, because I remember saying this the other night. I don't share the concerns. I think if Perisic signs, he will play, but I think Martial and Rashford are going to have to step up to the plate this season. Lukaku's come in. My problem is we do need to sign a winger, because if you've got... I mean, I'm more than happy to play Martial. I like Martial on the left wing, Lukaku up front, and then maybe play Mkhitaryan or Rashford on the right.
Sure.
But the problem is, if Lukaku pulls his hamstring and Martial does his knee, then it's the depth in those positions. We've got loads of centre-backs, but in the attacking positions, especially wide attacking positions, we've got Mata can play there, Lingard can play there,
Sure.
Ashley Young can play there. There's not enough depth. I think that is... I do share the opinion about Martial, because I want Martial to play and I think he can be one of the best players in the world. But we do need to sign somebody who's a winger, because we just don't have the depth.
Just in question in relation to that, so let's say Lukaku gets injured. Who would you like as his replacement while he is injured? Would you put Rashford up there, or would you like Martial to play the number 9 role?
At the moment, I'd still go Rashford. I don't know about you.
I think I'd agree. I think Martial is more effective on the wing, although I'd like for him to develop into a sort of an Henry kind of player, but I don't think he's ready for that. I think Martial needs at least 25 games this season, and he needs to at least score 10 goals in the Premier League from that left-hand side to kind of develop a little bit further, show that Mourinho maybe has a little bit of faith in him, and then maybe as the years go on, maybe he can progress into that position. But then you always have Rashford, and it's very hard to say, Rashford, you sit on the bench while Martial plays. So for me, it's very hard to overlook Rashford at the same time. And then I don't think either of them are quite suited to the right-hand side. So again, it's a toss-up for me, but I'm not too sure.
No, I think Martial, a bit like Fosu Mensah, unfortunately, they both lost the season last year. Fosu Mensah burst on the scene under Van Gaal, played really well, hardly played at all last year. I don't know why we didn't loan him out. And Martial just had a very mixed season. I don't think he was as bad as people think, but he certainly wasn't as good as he could have been. So he lost the season, and I agree with you. I think he can be that sort of Henry player in a few years' time, but he's got to play on the left wing a little bit more. And the one problem we had last year that really didn't help Martial is that he's better when he's running at the fullback, when he gets the ball and he's running forward. Too much last season because Zlatan was slow, teams pressed as high up the pitch. So when Martial was getting the ball, he was either having 2 or 3 players very close to him, or he had his back to the ball. When he played well in the season before, we were playing a higher line, we were pushing teams back further, and he was getting the ball at his feet, running at the fullback. That is what we need to do, and I think Lukaku will allow that because he's quick enough to push the centre backs back.
I agree. Just final question. I know I'm taking up a lot of the time, but just in relation to that CDM role, somebody mentioned it in a call. Potentially, what Mourinho might do, and this is an opinion I actually consider to be potentially true. He might say, "Well, I have Fosu Mensah, I have Pereira now coming back from loan. Maybe I do hold off and see, do these boys actually have it for this season? If not, maybe I go and sign someone like a Matic, someone like a Nainggolan if I can get them." He might just be thinking to himself, I have Pereira and Pogba. Let's just see, can I play Pereira slightly ahead of them? Or can I play Fosu Mensah slightly behind them and see how that works? And maybe this is what the preseason's for. And after the preseason, he might say, well, are these boys up to scratch? Yes or no? Do I need to sign a player? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think in the case of Pereira, he might shock some people. It won't shock me if he's part of the first team plans next season. But Fosu Mensah, I don't think he sees him as a midfielder, which is a shame because I do. But he always seems to play him at right back, and he's played Twansibi ahead of him as a centre defensive midfielder.
Twansibi another.
So maybe he might see Twansibi as a centre defensive midfielder, which would be, if we didn't sign anybody now and we played Pereira and Twansibi as a CDM, and that's the way we were going to go, then great. But Mourinho, whilst we're buying a lot of young players and we've got a lot of young players coming through, that would be a massive change of Mourinho's style to do that. And I would say Mourinho's a man who plays the averages. That's why he wants to sign Matic, because he'll have looked at the stats of Matic and said, well, it might not be the most exciting, but he'll do this, and this, which will mean this, and this points. And I think Lukaku, again, is the perfect sort of Mourinho signing because, yeah, he's got a bad first touch. Yeah, he disappears in the big games, but he'll look at last season and go, we didn't score enough goals against the poor sides. Lukaku scored loads. Right, I'll play the averages. We bring him in. We'll get all those points that we dropped last season. And if we pick the points up we did elsewhere, we're going to be challenging for the title. And that sounds very simplistic, but that's the way Mourinho approaches things. So I'd love to see Pereira and Fosu Mensah involved, but I still do think we will make a couple of signings.
Yeah, so do I.
Thanks for calling in, pal. Really good call.
No problem.
And
take it easy.
Thanks for all the hard work. Soon. Thank you. That was really interesting, actually, because while we were talking, Skype was actually interpreting what we were saying on my Skype screen. So that was it. That was very interesting. We seem to have... I tell you, there's a good news tonight. There's a good news and there's a reason to like this video. It feels like the audio, which I've been working on for a long time, we finally sorted out the audio, so the balance is right, because I think sometimes I was a bit quieter than the guests, so we've sorted that out. And the Skype issues seem to have resolved themselves as well. So this is great news if you are a follower of the United Standing, you like the Skype shows like I do. They're Monday and Thursday night, and it looks like we're back on track with those, so that's great. Bastian says, what about Verratti, the best midfielder in the world? He's not moved yet, has he? Good point. I mean, to be honest, the transfer window is a bit sort of a domino rally that's not been knocked off yet, because Mbappe's not moved, Verratti's not moved, and Aubameyang's not moved, and that you sort of need one of them to go to break out the chain. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Verratti, we'd all love Verratti at Manchester United. We've not really been linked to him, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Semedo's gone to Barcelona. Nelson Semedo, we were linked with him, but there we go. Old Trafford faithful reports say we have agreed personal terms with Fabinho. Let's have a look at that. I'd absolutely love it to be true. And Old Trafford faithful is probably one of my favourite Manchester United websites, after the United Stand, of course. So let's go and have a quick look. Probably just been No, I've fallen for that one. Hook, line and sinker. They haven't done that at all. It's probably Old Trafford faithful putting it in. Let's have a quick look. Anyway, no. Personal terms agreed as United to go back in with offer for 23-year-old midfielder. Yeah, I'd actually read this, to be honest. I think that's a bit of a regurgitation of a poor website called Sport Review. And that was this afternoon. So, I mean, I'd love it to be true, but, you know, those sort of reports don't really get me excited, if I'm totally honest with you. We're very close to 112,000. We're 2 off. If you haven't subscribed, please do and push us over while we're live. I just wouldn't, whilst viewing figures aren't massive tonight, I know it can't be like that every night, and I do appreciate that some people get a little bit fed up with... it has gone very quiet for United at the moment. I've got to admit that. Richard Kern says, what about Moussa Dembele from Spurs as a CDM? I really like him. Thanks for the contribution, by the way. I do really like Moussa Dembele. Not linked to him at all, but I do like him. I've always quite liked him, actually, to be honest. I want to just say as well, we are... The watch-alongs, I've got to tell you about the watch-alongs. I was talking to Mad Marcus before. We are going to be live at 2 AM on Sunday morning. LA Galaxy kicks off UK time 3 AM. So, well, let's say 2 AM, maybe half 2. Got to get a little bit of sleep before. So we will be live for the watch-along. Cannot wait for that. We've got some really good things planned. A brand new studio for it, which you're going to be stunned and amazed by. We might reveal that tomorrow night, actually. And also, we will be giving away the United shirts. Don't need that in my ear anymore. We'll be giving away those new Manchester United shirts, and we're going to do it on the watch along on Saturday. The first one will be given away, and we've decided to change it. We're going to give away a Manchester United shirt every single pre-season tour game. So how many is that? 5, 6, 7? So join us on the watch along, and we're doing that as well. We've done 112,000 subscribers. That's another progress for all you lot. Nice to do it on a Skype show because it is your show. So hang in there. Hang in there. We're only 2 days away from Manchester United's first game anyway. So hang in there. Transfers will happen at some point. Whether it'll happen before Saturday night, I don't know. I think tomorrow night, if there's nothing developing on transfers, I don't know what you lot think, but I think tomorrow night I'm going to do sort of an LA Galaxy preview stroke look at United's squad lineup. That we'll do that as well as talk about the latest transfer news because I want to start getting into that lot. But are you going to be there with us at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday watching the LA Galaxy game? Are you? Do you love United that much? Because I tell you what, there's a lot of people from Asia and America who during the normal season, they're getting up at 3 o'clock to watch it while we're watching it in the day. It's time for those UK United fans to show their mettle. Will you be there at 3 AM on Sunday morning watching the United stand, watch along, watching United play LA Galaxy? I will. You've got to put the effort in if you love United. So interesting, and obviously we'll give you a United top as well. So in summary, transfer news. I don't think Zlatan's coming back to United. I don't. And I think the midfielder will be Matic or Fabinho. And I fear it's going to be Matic, only because I just don't. He's not quick enough. But I hope it's Fabinho. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back later tonight if there's something worth going live about. We did it on Monday. We haven't done it for the last two nights because there hasn't been anything. But if there is anything, we will go live again. Normally about 10:30 that some news comes out. So if there's anything good, we'll go live. If not, Transfer Daily's back tomorrow. It will be back in the normal 7 AM slot. Although we do have a poll for you tomorrow to talk about the future of that show and vote. And don't forget the eye in the top corner of tonight's show. Do you think Goldbridge should be banned from singing on the Transfer Daily, or do you want him back? Vote. Top right hand corner is the eye. I don't know whether you get it on mobile, but you might need to be on a desktop to do it. But vote. Should I be allowed to sing? And if I win the vote, I will be singing on the Transfer Show. If I don't, it'll be gone forever. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. And yes. How do you donate to the United Stand? I'll give you my bank details, and we only take 6-figure denominations. Now, I'm only joking. There's a super chat option at the bottom, but if you can't see the $sign, it's not available in your country. And Mohammed's watching from South Africa. Boom. For the match on Sunday. Thanks everyone for watching. Oh, we will be doing a fantasy football. We're doing a fantasy football. I know it's out, Fantasy Premier League. We've got something totally different set up for you, and that'll probably be coming next week. So hold your horses. We will be doing a United Stand fantasy football, and we've got some fantastic prizes lined up for that. So don't worry, we will be doing one. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.